Hello, and welcome to our second open rehearsal of SummerFest2020. My name is Allison Bowles, and I'm the Education and Community Programming Manager for La Jolla Music Society. I'm here at the Baker-Baum Concert Hall at the beautiful Conrad with Summerfest Music Director Inon Barnatan, violinist James Ehnes, and cellist Alisa Weilerstein. They will be rehearsing Mendelssohn's Piano Trio in D minor, which the composer wrote during the summer of 1839. The rehearsal period will last for roughly 40 minutes, followed by a question-answer session. You'll be able to participate by submitting your questions or comments in two different ways. For those of you who joined us yesterday, you're already familiar with this function, and I invite you to join us again. You can either sign into YouTube and use the chat function, or if you'd rather not create an account, you can email me directly at questions@lgms.org. You can find that email address in the description in case you missed it. I'll let you guys get started, and I'll be back in a little bit with questions. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Hi, Alisa.
Hi,
First time
James.
seeing you. How's it
It's so
going?
nice to see you. Mask off and everything.
Temperature checks.
Yeah, exactly. Well, enjoy. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you. Is that going up? Yes, it went up.
All right.
Second, sorry.
First, I see.
You know, can we delay the crescendo a little bit more? The one that we just passed, like 338.
338.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have it sooner than you do. I have it first, then you have it, then James has it.
Yeah.
But
Still, I seem to surge.
No, yeah, because
right?
I have a crescendo to a sforzando. So I think it's supposed to be like, yeah, but I'll do less. But
I think, yeah, just so that we have a place to go.
Sure, yeah.
Maybe not exactly like a cheesy reset, but 41, 2, 3, 4, 344. That's a little bit of a low point.
Sorry,
for
where?
that crescendo 344. Does that work in your part?
Yeah, I have a restated.
You actually do have a restated piano.
Yeah, but we can let him through here.
For sure.
Trying to think if there's anything else.
I'm wondering, where we just got to.
Yeah.
Because we're taking such beautiful, I love the time that we're taking, and it's really nice, but I think because we're taking...
Go right in time, yeah, I was wondering, yeah.
into
It's like, okay, who's going to do it? Okay, so it's not. Sure.
And the very beginning, I'm wondering whether, do you think we're agitato enough?
No.
Hmm?
I think it could be a little bit more
Yeah.
fraught.
Yeah.
Honestly, yeah.
Can we try the
I think I wouldn't be afraid to cover me there. I think you can be a little bit like just like the motion.
It's a little unclear.
It's
Or
not
it's
unclear. It sounds very fluid and gorgeous, but I think you can help a little bit with that.
Yeah, sure.
You know,
Yeah.
the anxiety.
Yeah,
you know.
'cause it feels very lyrical and beautiful, but I'm missing a little molto.
Yeah, I mean, there's
yeah.
with the long notes. I mean, we can do it with the vibrato, but it would help if there's the. Maybe it's an articulation thing rather than volume.
Yeah.
Something.
Yeah, it's a hard thing because
Yeah.
kind of writes very clearly, writes a pedal for everything.
Yeah. It's like gloss it over, but be anxious at the same time.
Alright,
Yeah.
let's try that. Anything, yeah, we'll
Try
beginning,
one.
is that
Sure. Yeah.
I can hear it because I'm not playing, and I think it's changing slightly late. Without
Okay.
Just
So I'm.
Yeah, and I think actually what I like as well, because it knowing that even though we're going to that first, when it really goes.
Sure.
It always goes to that.
Okay. Much nicer character, actually.
And he has so many of these sforzandos and crescendos, so maybe not so much. Maybe
More
that forte is
singing.
more, less pointy somehow as well.
Less pointy. As you put your bow. Sorry.
do we want to maybe pick it up around, or was that like 3:30 something?
Yeah, to the recap.
3:36 is it where that starts?
Yeah.
Hold on. 3:36.
Like that crescendo we did.
I wonder if it's a little too much. Just in terms of the wind down of the mood, because and we've got kind of a ways to.
Yeah.
And the,
Like goes down.
la 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 dee 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 da da la 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 la.
Does it slow down too much, you think?
I
Let me
think
try
it's
again.
just- Your gorgeous melody can be louder than mine. So in ways, it's much more interesting.
Oh, you'd like it to be a bit loud. Oh, okay, yeah.
Mm-hmm. More so. Yeah, this is my favorite part of the movement, actually.
We always love the bits we don't get to play,
I
right?
know. It's like, I want that one, but it's like
Yeah, sure. I'm happy to.
yeah, it can be a little more singing.
Trying to stay.
I can play more as well.
You know, I had that marked in from one point before that would have, and then the last. I think I'd hooked the ones before, and then gosh,
I mean, I don't.
yeah, right.
I
It
don't
doesn't
mind.
really matter,
Yeah.
I kind of like hitting that one on an up.
Sure. Yeah, that's more final.
Feels
I-
like a dynamo mode. Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of a dumb question maybe, but Inon, is there actually crescendo written at 483, 40, 44, 45, or is it stupido forte after at 47?
483, yeah, there's crescendo.
Do we have one too?
For some reason you don't. He
Yeah,
has
I
it 2
do
bars
have
later than I do.
From
Strange.
I
Okay.
have from the.
Okay. I have nothing written
Yeah,
at
for some
all. So I
reason
mean, I'll just
yeah.
shadow you, I guess. But
Just
Yeah.
I don't think you're meant not to have it.
yeah, of course. No, but that was why I was.
Yeah.
That's why I'm asking.
527. That I think was nothing, right? Like we're just going straight into that. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Sorry, I missed you.
No, it's
Bum,
not
bum,
terribly clear there. All right.
Let's see.
This is really fun.
Sounds beautiful. Yeah, if we get a little bit, as we do, I'll pick up the tempo.
Yeah.
in the
Right.
instrumental, yeah.
No, I love that when you just sort of start to bubble away there.
Yes, I love it.
This
Yeah,
effervescence.
you guys playing just one note per hour, and I'm like.
I don't think you're playing enough notes today. I don't think you're playing nearly enough, and you should play the Rachmaninoff 3 times.
I think he already has. That's the problem.
3 more times.
Are you feeling comfortable with balance? I mean, it's not too.
I think
From
so.
what I can tell,
Yeah.
I mean,
I think it's fine.
I mean,
I like this piano because it's warm and it's rich and it's.
and yet it lets you through.
Yeah, exactly. There's
there's a transparency.
There's a transparency without a thinness at all. It's just it's almost like there's so much sort of space in the sound that we can find our spots.
But it's also the whole.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
I mean, you touch the instrument and it just
Yeah, and that's one of the things I noticed also in the over many performances at one of those halls where you get a blend, but you also hear
individual things.
every single line, such clarity in between the instruments as well. It's beautiful here.
Yeah, you get what you pay for.
Literally.
This is such a
Yes.
good
Since we have 17 minutes, do you want to do the last one?
No, let's do
The
this.
second? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good.
Give me a break.
I think we should.
Why?
We should spend a lot of time on those first 8 bars.
Absolutely. He needs to practice.
Try something here. It's just something I'm going to experiment with. Just want to try it again. I'm thinking that if my sort of upper line is, well, I'm just going to do it.
Do it. Let's see whether we react.
Yeah. No, I think it'll make a nice combination. I don't want to make like a thing of it. I just want to try something different.
Okay.
Let me try that. Do you mind if I just play one more time?
Hey man, I love to hear it. You can play
don't want to hear any more.
Does it strike you guys as interesting how Mendelssohn does this? Like, as you're playing, I was thinking, what other things does he do this in? But he does this in certain places where he offsets it by a half bar. Like, it's an odd compositional thing to do. Like, I mean,
he likes to kind of interweave.
Yeah, like it would be very natural to put that as a downbeat. But he doesn't.
You mean for you?
No, for everybody.
No, for you as well.
Right, yeah.
That starts with a half bar.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. He does,
But there's like
leaning
this,
into the middle of the bar.
it's this wonderful kind of ambiguity as to where the strong beat is.
That's very cool.
That's why I'm trying. Actually, that's why I'm trying it again. You hit the nail on the head.
Yeah, we were kind of.
They were, yeah.
Do you want to play that before or on? Yeah, right.
A little
Exactly.
more expressive,
It's
I think. Yeah.
Yes.
Is that
Okay.
sorry? What is it?
Yeah. A little bit more.
And then we can sort of go into the beat as you're saying it.
Yeah.
Should we take the half bar of 14?
Sure.
Very nice. Could we play a few bars at 84?
Yeah.
I'm wondering if maybe we can, I don't know, take a little density out of that somehow.
Sure.
And thank you for not taking time when you
Of course.
Yeah.
No, traditionally,
you should just.
yeah.
But I wonder actually also if there's a way. There's always like a slightly awkward transition between. So that it feels like this thing has been always going on. That these 16th notes have started almost before we just couldn't hear them. You know what I mean? So that.
So the upbeat is only in tempo.
Sure, so this is
Yeah.
Moments that half bar.
Yeah, so absolutely no time on those last two.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
so I can.
So tempting with that nice interval up for the job. Can we take the bar before that? It's 54.
I'll try to show it without. 54? Yeah.
Yeah, that way it kind of feels.
Yeah.
Like,
But then, yeah, maybe the forte, I mean, in context, we can make a little bit more of it, yeah. So, yeah. As we release the tempo afterwards.
yeah. So what did you want to do at the?
I actually just, if we
Yeah.
can even just put a little on our own just at 84.
Sorry. Speak. Sorry.
Oh, you're going an F. That's always a fun note.
It's a great note, yeah. Sorry.
Does that work in here? Does it seem nice?
Great. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Good.
It's nice. It's nice.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't sound like sometimes that bit sounds like a passing police car.
Yes,
You
exactly.
sound good too.
A passing police.
Yeah. It's and again, it's so nice when these things just kind of we continue each other. Yeah. And it also in the end, whatever. So no written. Yeah. So because he does write that.
It's so funny. I guess ever felt like I feel like in Mendelssohn's chamber music, very consistently, you always find a lot of markings. You know, so many markings tell you what to do, and so many of Mendelssohn's markings tell you what not to do.
Yes.
I know.
And like you get the sense that like he wrote the
Senza
things-
ritardando.
Yeah, you know, bend in tempo, you know, things like the first read through, because there are always things it seems like they're always in places where you're like, oh yeah, like I would imagine
Somebody
a bad
could take time
musician
there.
doing that.
Yes.
And he's like, just
Just don't do it.
be a bad musician, please don't do that.
And there was it was exactly the time where romanticism was, everybody was
Excess. But I love this sempre in tempo e senza ritardo. This has been, it's like,
yeah, sensory.
stay in time, yeah.
Very Leipzig.
Yeah. Oh, we have 4 minutes. Want to play this? No, I want to play this game.
Shall we do the...
Absolutely.
Your call. Sure, I'm happy to do that.
Anything in this other thing from... There's this well, I mean,
Yeah.
Is it, how does that seem to you? Am I taking too much time?
No.
I thought it was beautiful.
He doesn't tell you not to.
No, I love the way that it really emerged from it. I thought it was beautiful.
No, and the color change was fantastic.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm always, I'm taking a lot of liberty there, but it's just so
Oh, come on.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It just cantabile afterwards anyway.
Let's
No?
A little bit next. That was like not even close to the right note. Can we start that a little bit more compact at
Of
the
course.
beginning of it?
Yeah. It was a little bit wild. Do it again?
Yeah, I'm sure.
tempo fair, or is it too slow?
Much too slow. I think you should play it twice as fast.
Well, no, I mean, it's a good student tempo. I think you're doing very well.
Thank you.
No, it's great. I think.
Good practice tempo. want to channel your inner jerk, Inon, and at 1:35, kind of
I thought you already did.
I thought I did.
You did.
I
think
can
maybe
always
even a
find
little
more
bit more. I
jerk
don't know.
inside.
Yeah.
You mean
You got more jerk.
No.
Hi. Sure.
I love that scherzo. You guys played beautifully. So we have a mic here. If you guys want to join in. Yeah, actually, this first question really kind of could go to you, James. So I know you just completed 12 concerts for the Seattle Chamber Music Society for your own festival. And I was really just wondering from all of you, what's it like to be back? What's it like to be together or play remotely? What's your experience?
I'm sure I can speak for all of us in saying it's just wonderful. It's so nice. I mean, I had a rehearsal on March 12th, and then I had a rehearsal on June 26th or something like that. Both cases with my quartet, and in between, I didn't play with anybody live the whole time, and it was really wonderful to get back to that. I mean, I'm not sure if the two of you had maybe chances in between to do a little bit. I know you did a few things in the middle there.
A few is sorry. I mean, a few is an exaggeration, but yeah, I mean, I flew to Germany. Actually, I was there for 3 weeks, and I played with Tchaikovsky or Rococo Variations, and that was the only thing I did live. It was one broadcast, yeah, and I did like one other kind of a recording session in there, and that was the first thing that was on June 20th, so similar to your timing. So it was like from beginning of March until June 20th, and then actually Inon and I played together for we did a virtual recital for Aspen, and yeah. That was the end of July, so that was, and we're all used to having things back to back and running and traveling and everything else, and so yeah, this has really been it's for every single person, it's been kind of this bizarro experience, honestly. So and I think Inon, you put this so beautifully, saying that it's. Even though, let's say, we really miss our audience, but even having each other as our audience, even on stage, to play with somebody else is, I mean, it's such a joy. So I'm so glad that this is happening. So grateful for it. I don't know if you want to.
Not much to add, except it does feel like as soon you don't realize how much you need other people to bounce off of you. If you're if you spend too much time with yourself without even just being able to play for somebody else, let alone with somebody else. I remember Rubinstein used to say that as soon if he was practicing, as soon as the cleaning lady came in, he was performing. Mm-hmm. Because just having another person in the room, doesn't matter almost how many, or somebody listening to you, and it could be also through knowing that somebody's listening to you while you're performing and doing it live, and being able, somebody has a connection with you right there, and is with you. It changes the way that you play music and the way that you hear yourself. And it's funny how hard it was, even in this case, to get to this quote unquote normal stage. I mean, for us to be able to play like this with such closeness, the testing and the isolation and all those those incredibly rigorous things that we've never done before and that we had to be so strict about, in order to be able to make music the way that we wanted to make music, because it's without the distance and without the to be able to look each other and kind of read each other's faces and to be able to react and be close enough to hear. And so yeah, a lot went into, because it was such a struggle to get to this point, which is a point that we love in we always love playing with each other, with great musicians together. But because it took so much struggle, it's so much more meaningful and joyful.
It's really a testament to your passion.
And just to add to what you're saying, I mean, just for the people who are watching to know, we all 7 of us got tested the day before rehearsals began, so that we could rehearse in a more normal way, which, because chamber music, as Inon was saying, requires, I mean, we rely so much on each other's body language, facial expressions, eye contact, and, well, just contact, really, which is what has been such a challenge during these times. And every day when we enter the building, we're masked, we get our temperatures checked, as we must and are happy to do, but it's, the festival is taking every possible precaution to make sure that we are doing this safely.
I'll just add that, I mean, we'd better take every precaution. It's like if one of us, I mean, everywhere I've gone this summer has required a negative test before I can start. And the way that things accumulate and the little amount of work there's been, it's like it could be the difference between being able to pay the bills that month. You know, I test positive. It's like I'm not just worried about getting sick. It's like I'm worried about losing the only work I've had, in the only work I'm gonna have for months. So yeah.
For all 7 of us, it's the same,
Yeah,
the same boat.
yeah, exactly. It's like there's that certain level of trust because there's the same level of desperation from all of us. I think.
Yes.
But you know, it's just so nice being with you guys. It's like I like you guys. You know, being with friends and doing the thing we love the most with the people that we love. I mean, it's very, very lucky. So thank you.
It might seem kind of natural and easy, but
Yeah. Well, we're really, really glad to have you guys here.
Thank you.
We feel it too on staff, and I know that our audience is feeling that as well. For you, what defines a good rehearsal? How do you walk away feeling satisfied?
I would say a good rehearsal is one where it's better at the end than it was at the beginning. I mean, honestly, that sounds really, really simple, but I mean, yeah, I think a good rehearsal, I mean, they can take a lot of different forms, but if you're in a better place than you were at the start, then that's what you've accomplished. I mean, I personally enjoy rehearsals that are friendly and fun, but I think the most important thing, I mean, it's you have a job to accomplish, and a rehearsal is, the whole point of it is for it to be better at the end than at the beginning, which is not always the case. We've all had those experiences where it's like, this is getting worse instead of better. But yeah, I mean, I think that's a pretty simple answer for me, even if it's not very eloquent.
it was very eloquent. Yeah. Yeah, it's funny because it really depends. It's very much depends on the piece and the group, because sometimes a good rehearsal is when you feel like there's not a lot that needs to be said, and everybody reacts to each other to a certain extent where you don't feel like you have to constantly talk about what you want, but people understand what you want by reacting. But on the other hand, it could also be a rehearsal in which you start getting more philosophical, or you start kind of digging deeper and suddenly discover things about a piece from another person, another point of view that you never heard. So the ones where you start, for me, where you start in a good place, and then kind of as soon as you start, looking in all the corners, and then, it looks clean, but maybe there's a little dust there, a little bit there, and then suddenly you discover more and more things, and it's kind of a fun excavation. And at the end of it, you're just you go on stage feeling that you don't need to think about all the details that you worked on, and just can just play.
I mean, I completely agree with both of you, but yeah, I would say when I feel the most satisfied is when I feel like I've really learned from my colleagues, and that, I also personally, I like rehearsing in a, when there's a luxury of time, I like going into details and searching for
for ways of really growth, honestly. So that's my point of view.
That's lovely.
Yeah.
So this piece will be performed on Sunday, along with the Beethoven Cello Sonata. Do you want to share, either of you who are also playing the Cello Sonata, a little bit about how these two pieces kind of fit together and why it makes such a rich program?
Well, to start with, those are two of the best pieces ever written. So yeah, that already works. But they both, in some ways, had a different way of dealing with the instruments. I mean, the Beethoven is really the first real duo sonata between a cello and a piano. It's where, because for the longest time, in Mozart and Haydn and before, the cello was kind of more or less doubling the bass of the piano, and it was didn't kind of come to its own in cello sonatas. Even in the first couple of Beethoven sonatas, even though it's much more, the cello gets much more of a part. But the third sonata is where Beethoven really was groundbreaking in the way that the cello was not only center stage, but a real.
And also, literally, the cello starts the piece.
Yeah, the cello starts the piece which is such a statement.
That was a big deal.
Yeah, I mean, for cello sonatas didn't really exist before Beethoven, and it was in some ways the Mendelssohn is also, he found a way to balance the virtuosity of the piano, which he wrote like nobody to the piano. It was just incredible, as you hear in this piece. But all three instruments have these incredible virtuosic parts, but he found a way to make it not about the virtuosity. All these notes, all these things are at the service of something that's so much greater and so much. It's an emotional and musical ride rather than a showcase for anything. And he managed to balance the instruments in such a way that everybody shines in maximum capacity, but nobody overshadows. And it's such a real honest chamber music work, and it's just incredible to pair those two. And the cello starts this one too, or at least the theme.
The first note.
Yes. Yeah.
I think that counts.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, that's all the time that we have. Thank you guys so much. For anyone who's watching, you can still purchase tickets on our website. We invite you to join us this evening for a fabulous concert and again Sunday afternoon. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your rehearsal, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you.